After the news of Gunna's plea deal being accepted in the courtroom, with footage being released of him snitching on Young Thug, many rappers in the industry had many mixed reactions to it. This all started on December 14th, when the YSL RICO case changed for the absolute worse for Young Thug. Currently, there's 2 to 3 snitches being added to the case weekly, but one man snitching changed the case forever. This YSL member is none other than Gunna, as on the 14th, YSL rapper Gunna accepted a plea deal inside of the courtroom. In this plea deal, Gunna admitted that YSL is a street team that commits crimes as shared in this video clip.
You agree or acknowledge that the statements are true, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocarbons and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL to the detriment of my community. YSL again. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
If you're a fan of Young Thug, leave a like on the video. I'm curious how many fans are watching today. Now, once that court footage was leaked online, the rap world went crazy, as Boosie tweeted within minutes, "Rat. This would have put tears in my eyes. My brother and my artist. Like what? I am fighting for my life, saying that I'm not running a street team, and then you do this to Big Dog. You already know that it is a street team, and if the firearms and narcotics aren't yours, then whose else were they in the car?" Now, in case you're confused from that tweet, allegedly one of the charges against Gunna and Young Thug was for narcotics and firearms found inside of a vehicle that Gunna was driving in with Young Thug. So Gunna telling the judge and claiming they are not his, then obviously it would land on Young Thug. He then tweeted again, "He has one charge. He was not gonna get no hard time. These lawyers don't give a damn about your legacy. They know what you're doing to your name, but they getting you out of jail, so their name blows up. And then you gotta pay them more when you're free, and they made you cooperate." Now, shortly after Boosie's reaction, we saw none other than the top snitch, 6ix9ine himself, as 6ix9ine had this to say: "Just be quiet and listen. I know y'all do not want to accept it. Your man is fighting for life in court on a RICO charge. And the judge said that you are aware YSL is a street team, correct?" Gunna says, "Yes, ma'am." Judge says, "Only you and Jeffrey are in the car, and the police find firearms and narcotics. These did not belong to you, right?" Gunna replies, "Yes, ma'am." Now go ahead and make your million excuses. I stand on whatever I did or do. That's why I'm still walking this earth and nothing has ever happened to me. I am him. Real guys getting messed with cannot be me. Now, Gunna snitching in court was a surprise to everyone, as sources claim the court hearing was a surprise emergency hearing. Young Thug allegedly had no idea it was even going down. As seen in the video clip, the courtroom is practically empty on the inside. This video clip also shows YSL rapper Gunna saying yes ma'am to several questions about YSL, questions involving Young Thug with firearms and narcotics, and he even admitted that YSL is in fact a street team, which in the end makes Young Thug look extremely guilty. Now, it just so happened that Young Thug had his own court hearing set for the next day, almost as if the prosecutors are messing with Young Thug, trying to get into his head, releasing everybody in YSL except him. Now, during this court hearing, Young Thug was told the news of Gunna pleading guilty to several charges, as well as revealing that YSL does a lot of street activities and has committed many crimes. Now sadly I cannot share the video clip, but while the judge reveals that Gunna snitched and gave up information, this is where you see YSL Kingpin Young Thug putting his head on the back of his chair and kinda sinking and leaning into his chair. Showing a lot of sad emotions as well. This is never nice to see by Young Thug, as everyone is turning their backs on him. Now once the court hearing was over, Young Thug was then seen standing out of his chair, staring right into a camera, giving a smirk before going back to his normal face. Almost like a sarcastic smile, as he is not pleased whatsoever of Gunna accepting this plea deal. Now after Young Thug's reaction to Gunna snitching was quickly posted on social media, many YSL fans were quick to turn against Gunna. And with Gunna's reputation on the line, him and his team were quick to make a statement and break the silence to the snitching rumors. As Gunna released this statement on social media, while I've always agreed to be truthful, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not made any statements, have not been interviewed, have not cooperated, and have not agreed to testify or be a witness for or against any party in the case. And I have absolutely no intention on being involved in the trial process in any way. Now Gunna's statement is extremely confusing, as he states that he is not interviewed, is not cooperating, yet there's a video clip of him saying yes ma'am to several questions regarding YSL being a street team. But here's where it gets more concerning, as Gunna is not the only YSL member to snitch recently. YSL member Obam was seen in court accepting a plea deal with footage. Now he was accused of trying to deal with YFN Lucci a few years ago, and he's also the YSL member that asked Young Thug for permission to go after Lucci and was supposedly gonna get payment for doing so. Now sources claim that the only way Young Thug serves a life sentence in prison is if the snitches keep coming forward. This seems very likely, as this happened the first day of the YSL RICO case.
He's the one directing traffic. He is the one they're all afraid of. He's the one that's king slime. He is the most dangerous of the 28, Judge. And I implore you not to grant him a bond. He is dangerous. If he gets a burner, Judge, and the court may know this, a lot of the communications that Mr. Williams is on FaceTime, because it's not traceable, it's not trackable. Judge, I will also say that we have taken proffers from fellow from Mr. Williams. Some are on this indictment, some are not. They have stated uniformly that Mr. Williams is dangerous. They are afraid of him, that if they cross him, he will them and their family. And they were very clear about that.
Concerns that this court has is danger to persons and to intimidate other witnesses and obstruct the administration of justice. So and for those reasons in the aggregate, I'm going to deny bond at this time.
Now since day one, YSL members have been snitching against Young Thug, as the first snitch in the YSL case was known as Lil Woody. It was announced that a YSL member named Jaden Myrick admitted on the stand inside of the federal courtroom that he is a YSL team member working for Young Thug, and his job was to intimidate the snitches in the case that were going against rapper Young Thug. Jaden Myrick had to admit this, as the feds allegedly had hard-hitting evidence against him. Now the man that he was going against that is snitching is known as Lil Woody. Lil Woody started snitching on Young Thug the day that he was arrested. Due to this, many YSL members in the free world have been going after Lil Woody's family, which made Lil Woody demand safety for his family after he started snitching. As Woody mentioned during his snitching interview, that Young Thug is, quote, a very dangerous human. If you cross him, he will get you and your family. Jaden Myrick ended up getting a deal as well, just like most YSL members have been getting very recently, which makes it very obvious that the prosecutors want one man and one man only. They don't care about anyone else, all they want is the kingpin Young Thug. Now this was made very obvious when this happened in the courtroom very recently. With members being released from prison, Young Thug's lawyers argued that he should be released as well. The prosecutors were ready and waiting for this to happen, as this ended up happening in the courtroom.
Williams is in a jail outside of Fulton County. There are 0 cell phones in that jail.
That last tweet that was sent out to Michael Phelps,
is recorded. It's been investigated by the sheriff of that county, and it was a conversation that's recorded between Mr. Williams and a member of his close friendships, that he asked the other person who has control of his Twitter account. That is not a reason to...
Well, this is part of the conversation, Mr. Steele, and you and others are going to need to have with your clients, because this is part of the state's concern. I mean...
That was an innocent... That's nothing bad. Asking somebody to tweet to Michael Phelps, can you swim 100 miles in the ocean? That has nothing to do with intimidation. That ask you, Rico?
Well, if I can communicate through a family member or somebody else, then I can communicate something else.
Everything okay over there?
Sorry.
Yep. Okay, your family was concerned that something was going on. You're fine, right?
Yes, I'm great.
Okay, cool.
Now that was Young Thug's lawyer arguing and trying to help Young Thug as this tweet was sent out on his Twitter account. I'm talking with my roommate and we're wondering if you could swim 100 miles from the middle of the ocean back to shore at Michael Phelps. The prosecutors were claiming that Young Thug is having his manager tweet out things for him that he requested over the jail phone. These tweets have secretive messages that only freed YSL members would know about. Now it kind of feels like a stretch, but it clearly worked as Young Thug was denied bail once again. If you want to stay up to date with the Young Thug case, leave a like on the video and don't forget to subscribe if you're new.